The Cleveland Browns front office just made a move that signals exactly how they plan to survive the financial storm hanging over our heads. We all know this team has become masters of the salary cap shuffle, but seeing a young talent like Dawg Jones agree to a restructured deal changes the landscape for 2026. This isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about keeping our competitive window open while managing massive risks. Stick around as we break down why this matters for our championship hopes starting right now. Dawg Jones has officially agreed to a reworked contract for the 2026 season, a move that provides some much-needed breathing room for the organization's complicated books. This young offensive tackle was originally set to see a massive pay jump because of his performance on the field. Since he played over 35% of the team's offensive snaps in 2 of his first 3 years, he triggered what the league calls a proven performance escalator. That bonus would have pushed his salary to nearly $4 million, which is a significant figure for a team that is already juggling some of the heaviest contracts in professional football. To understand why the front office felt the need to sit down with him, we have to look at the bigger picture involving Deshaun Watson. Since that massive trade for our quarterback back in 2022, the Browns have had to restructure his contract 4 separate times. Every time they move money around for the quarterback, it creates a ripple effect that touches every other player in the locker room, including stars like Denzel Ward. By sitting down with the tackle and coming to this new agreement, the team is guaranteeing him over $1 million up front. This gives the player security, especially after he suffered a truly gruesome injury during the 2025 campaign that left his future role a bit uncertain. For the Browns, this deal lowers the total cap hit from that $4 million mark down to just $1.5 million. It is the kind of savvy financial maneuvering that has defined the Andrew Berry era in Cleveland. We are seeing a front office that refuses to let the salary cap dictate their ability to stay competitive. While some critics argue that these constant restructures will eventually lead to a financial collapse, the immediate benefit is clear. It allowed the team to go out and find help in free agency, bringing in more depth to protect the pocket. This specific move with the tackle shows that the team is preparing for every scenario, ensuring they have the veteran presence and the young talent necessary to keep this offense moving forward, even as the price of doing business continues to skyrocket across the league for the foreseeable future for our entire Browns family. The decision to adjust this contract reflects a deep understanding of the risks associated with professional football. When an athlete faces a season-ending injury like the one seen last year, the path back to the starting lineup is never guaranteed. This young man showed incredible promise during his 20 career starts, proving that he has the physical tools to anchor an NFL offensive line. However, the front office had to be realistic about the timeline for his recovery and how he fits into the long-term vision of the protection unit. By securing a portion of his money now, he gets the peace of mind to focus entirely on his rehabilitation without the looming fear of being a cap casualty later on. From the perspective of the locker room, these moves are essential for maintaining a high-level roster. The team has been incredibly aggressive this offseason, bringing in heavy hitters like Zion Johnson and Elgton Jenkins to bolster the front 5. When you add names like Tevin Jenkins and Titus Howard to the mix, the competition for those starting spots becomes incredibly fierce. The organization is essentially building a wall of talent to ensure that whoever is under center has the best possible protection. This strategy acknowledges that games are won and lost in the trenches. By managing the salary cap effectively, they can afford to carry multiple starting caliber linemen at the same time. This depth is a luxury most teams simply cannot afford. It reminds many of us of the great offensive lines of the past that allowed the Browns to dominate the ground game. The front office is betting that by keeping this specific talent in the fold at a more manageable price point, they are creating a safety net. If one of the high-priced veterans goes down, they have a proven contributor ready to step back into the spotlight. It is a chess move designed to mitigate the inherent volatility of the sport. We are watching a masterclass in roster construction where every dollar is allocated to maximize the chance of a deep playoff run. The commitment to maintaining this level of depth shows a pursuit of excellence that fans in Cleveland have wanted for a long time. It is truly a special sight to see. At the end of the day, this contract adjustment is about one thing: winning more football games. When we look at how the season could unfold, having a flexible budget is the difference between being a contender and falling into the middle of the pack. If the front office didn't make these moves, they might have been forced to let talented players walk away just to balance the checkbook. Instead, they are finding ways to keep the core of the team together while adding fresh faces who can make an immediate impact. This matters because it gives our head coach the tools he needs to succeed. We've all seen seasons where a single injury to the offensive line derailed everything. By keeping this young tackle on the roster at a lower cost, the Browns are making sure they don't have that same weakness. It provides a level of security that should make every fan feel more confident heading into the fall. We want to see a team that can stand toe-to-toe with the best in the division without worrying about who is going to fill in if someone gets hurt. The direct consequence of this restructuring is that the Browns have more cash available right now to improve the rest of the roster. Whether it's adding another target for the passing game or bringing in a defensive specialist, every dollar saved on the line is a dollar that can be spent on making the team faster and stronger. It's a simple equation for success. If you have better players than the other team, you have a better chance to win. The emotional weight of this is significant for those of us who have followed this team through the lean years. We remember when the roster was thin and the cap was a mess. Seeing the organization operate with such precision and foresight is a breath of fresh air. It shows that there is a real plan in place to bring a championship back to Cleveland. They are navigating the difficult financial waters of the modern NFL with a level of expertise that should give us all hope for the future of this historic franchise for many seasons. Let's consider the two paths this could take, because the stakes couldn't be higher. In the best-case scenario, this young lineman recovers fully from his injury and returns to the form that made him a standout starter. If that happens, the Browns have secured a top-tier protector for a fraction of what he would normally cost on the open market. This would be a massive victory for the front office and a huge boost for the offense. It would mean the line is deeper and more talented than almost any other unit in the league. Imagine a scenario where we have multiple Pro Bowl caliber players rotating in and out, keeping everyone fresh for a long postseason run. That is the dream we are all chasing. However, we have to be honest about the risks. If the recovery doesn't go as planned, or if the competition in camp proves to be too much, the team has still committed guaranteed money to a player who might not be able to contribute at a high level. That is the gamble you take in this league. But even in that worst-case scenario, the financial hit is much lower than it would have been if they hadn't restructured the deal. The tension here is real. Every time a player with an injury history takes the field, we hold our breath. We want to see him succeed not just for the team, but for his own career. The pressure is on the coaching staff to find the right balance and make sure they are putting the best 5 guys on the field every single Sunday. If this plan works, the Browns will be praised for their genius. If it fails, critics will point to the complicated books as the reason for the team's struggles. This is the tightrope the organization is walking right now. They are betting on talent, they are betting on recovery, and most importantly, they are betting on the culture they've built in that building. We are all waiting to see if this calculated risk pays off when the lights come on and the games finally start to count. Every single decision like this is vital. To put it simply, the Browns are doing everything in their power to stay in the hunt while managing a very difficult financial situation. They've managed to turn a potentially expensive contract into a win-win for both the player and the team. It's a move that prioritizes depth and protection, which are the two things this team needs most to support their star quarterback. But here is the real question for you, the fans who live and breathe Cleveland football. Do you think it's smart to keep restructuring these deals, or are you worried the bill will eventually come due? We've seen other teams go through this, and it's always a gamble. Be honest, do you trust this front office to keep the window open, or do you think they are playing a dangerous game with the future of the franchise? Hear your thoughts in the comments below. Your passion is what makes this team great. If you want to stay updated on every move the Browns make this offseason, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Don't forget to like this video to help other fans find us. We are in this together right now.